Keep your hands here, filling and emptying, inhaling and exhaling. And as you do so, take a scan through the body and just take note of how you're feeling today, what needs attention. What might need a little compassion, a little love, whether it's in your body or in your heart, your emotional state. Just coming into this moment. Breath coming and going. We'll start with a little bit of cat and cow. I'll just turn to the side so you can see a little bit of arch and curl. As we inhale, moving to the fronts of the sitting bones, arching the spine, drawing the elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other, lifting the gaze. As we exhale, curling, coming to the back of the sitting bones, sending the mid-back back. Inhaling and arching, lifting. Exhaling and curling. You can even clasp hands and extend the palms forward if you want a little extra. Continuing like this in your own breath and your own time. Just beginning to link breath to movement. Or maybe you're just coming into your day and into your body today. Those of you joining us from the West Coast, maybe some of us on the East Coast have started our day already, but maybe the body hasn't yet come along. Just starting to connect. And then pause, back in neutral, back in the center. Notice how you feel. Take a moment to be grateful, to be in a body today. A body that moves, body that does so much for us. Turn to the right side of your chair, grab your block. Take the block between the knees. It might be on this most narrow level. It might be on the next level. See what's more comfortable for you, for your low back as you place the block there. You want the knees roughly to be parallel with the hips, not a wide stance, not a turned out stance. Squeeze on the block and notice how that squeeze initiates engagement for the inner thigh and into the abdomen and the core. Kind of brings some aliveness here. We're going to take a twist. So we're going to inhale and lift up tall, even as we ground the sitting bones. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the right towards the back of the chair, holding on to the back of the chair, pulling with the left hand and pressing with the right hand. Be here and breathe. So inhale, squeeze the block, renew the length of the spine. Exhale and twist. And once again, inhale, squeeze, lengthen, and exhale, allow for the spin, the twist. So stay here a breath or two more, just working in that way with the inhale-exhale pattern. So nothing is static. We're always working internally even if we can't see much movement on the outside. And then release. And we'll come to the other side, moving over to the left side of your chair. Inhale, lengthen the spine, squeeze the block, and exhale, spin to the left. Pressing with the left hand, pulling with the right hand. Inhale, ground the feet, lift the spine. Exhale, spin. Continuing like this. So the inhale also brings lift and lengthening to the abdominal cavity. And then when you're ready, you can release. And just observe internally. Notice anything new, anything different. Come back forward. You can place the block down to the side. Going to take the knees wide. And now we do have a bit of turnout here. The toes are turning out. The knees are going in the direction of the toes. Inhale. Press down to the thighs and lengthen through the torso. And then as you exhale, come on forward. I can show this again from the side so you get a sense of my spine. One nice length through the spine. You can take it hands anywhere that's comfortable. Maybe it's to the thighs, as I'm doing. Maybe it's to the block or the floor. And maybe you want to fold fully, let the head hang. Take your hands to the sides of the chair or a rung of the chair. Finding some amount of sensation in the back of the legs, the hips, inner thighs. When you're ready, take the hands back to the thighs if they're not there already. Press into the thighs, inhale, lift, keeping the spine tall and long, gazing up, slight back bend, and then exhale, return to neutral. And just pause once again and notice how you feel. Going to share a little bit of teaching and then we'll continue with our class. Feel free to keep most of your attention on the inside, internally, to your breathing, to your body, while I share a few words. So today is the 17th of Av. Maybe you've been noticing those beautiful full moon expressions over the last few days, and now we go to a waning moon in these last 2 weeks of Av and towards Elul. The parsha for this week is Parshat Ekev. We're in Deuteronomy now, of course. It's my first time back with you, I think, since we're in this new book of Torah. And Deuteronomy is really expressed in Moses' voice. It's a kind of a recap, series of speeches delivered by Moses to the Israelites before they entered the promised land. So I'm looking in chapter 8. Starting at verse 7, Yud-He-Vav-He is bringing you into a good land, the land with streams, springs, fountains. Then we go through the Sheva Minim, the 7 species, a land of wheat, barley, vines, figs, pomegranates, olive trees, and honey, dates, date honey. Those are known as the 7 species. And then it goes on to say, when you have eaten your fill, ve'achalta, ve'savata, give thanks to the Lord, to Adonai Yud-He-Vav-He, excuse me. Don't usually say Lord, I'm just reading JPS text here. For the good land which God has given to you. Ve'achalta, 3 words here I want to focus on. Vesavata, so you shall eat, you shall become satiated, uverachta, and you shall bless. And perhaps you know these words from Birkat Hamazon, the whole verse, Ve'achalta, vesavata, uverachta et Adonai Elohecha, ala aretz hatova, on the good land asher natan lach, that you've been given. And be careful that you might forget Yod He Vav He and fail to keep the commandments. So you should be thankful. You should remember. You should not forget. So this is a teaching that I think is so beautiful for yoga. Really adapts very nicely. And I want to just bring it into a few broad concepts, and then we'll work in the body. So I think of it like this in terms of yoga. Ve'achalta, eat. Come to the mat, be invested in your practice, partake of the practice, do your practice fully. Visavata, and be satisfied. So as you observe, let it be enough. Let your offering, your expression in the pose be enough. And I always say to you, you are in choice. You can come out of a pose early, you can stay in a pose longer, you can do something else entirely. And that's really the encapsulation of Visavata. Be satisfied, know in your own internal observation when you are satisfied, when you've had enough, and stop. Stop doing the pose when you're done. Uverachta, and then you should bless. That's the part where we pause and we take hands on. And I see that as both receiving and giving. I'm receiving the blessing of the shape of the pose, of the offerings that the pose has given to my own nervous system. I'm taking it in. I'm feeling, I'm observing, and I'm grateful. That's a blessing. And I'm also giving blessing to myself in each moment where I pause after going through a shape. I'm offering a blessing out in that space. So that's what we're going to work on today, those ideas. And I wanted to share one more thing from Thich Nhat Hanh, beautiful Vietnamese Buddhist monk of blessed memory, just on food itself. If you truly get in touch with a piece of carrot, you get in touch with the soil, the rain, the sunshine, you get in touch with Mother Earth, and eating in such a way, you feel in touch with true life, your roots, and that is meditation. If we chew every morsel of our food in that way, we'll become grateful. And when you are grateful, you are happy. So I want to work in today's practice on these kind of three phases: the eating, the nurturing ourselves, nourishing ourselves with the pose, the noticing when we're full and stopping, and then the blessing, receiving each blessing the pose has to give and giving blessing to ourselves. So truly in this class, you can, follow me very loosely, come out. I want to really encourage you to listen internally and come out of a pose when you feel you're done. And lastly, I'm paying attention since we're talking about eating here and digestion. I want to pay attention to a lengthening of the abdominal space, making some openness, and then also we'll do fair amount of twisting, which is a wonderful, wonderful aid for digestion, literal digestion. So that's kind of our focus today. Lengthening, twisting, ease of digestion. Ve'achalta, v'savata, uverachta. Okay, so coming to stand when you're ready. And we're just going to take an easy twisting side to side. Take the feet a little wider than hip width apart. And we're just going to swing easily side to side. You could take it very slowly and keep it there, or you can speed it up. You decide. Just finding some twist in the whole body. Have ease in your knees and your ankles. You can even lift up your heels as you come side to side. You can let your hands hang like empty coat sleeves, just swinging. and landing. And then you can slow it down and come to stillness. Pause. Beginning with lengthening and taking a side bend to get some opening here for the abdominal space. You can bring the feet together or a little wider, however you wish. I'm going to take a side bend over to the right by taking the right hand to the right hip, inhaling the left arm up, and exhaling, press the hips to the side as you extend. You can take this nice and easy. I'm thinking more of lengthening than side bending. And this right hand to the right hip can do the work of that press. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale that arm down. Pause a moment. Just notice how it was to do that on the one side. And then we'll take the other side, left hand to left hip. Inhale the arm up. Exhale, shift the hips over to the right. Side bending to the left. Couple of breaths here. Inhale back to center and exhale the hand down. Grab your chair again. Place it onto your mat. I'm going to face the chair. Feet hip width apart. Let's take that block again in between the thighs. Squeeze on the block, hands to the hips. Lengthen the tailbone and inhale, lift the sternum. And then exhale, fold forward from the hip crease. You can take the hands to the chair or the forehead to the chair, elbows to the chair, forearms. You decide. Find length in the spine. Eat. Take part of this pose. Squeeze the thighs together. Draw the pubic bone back in space. That effort, you might notice, starts to bring some length to the abdomen, a little bit of hollowness perhaps. You can roll the thighs in slightly to help aid the pubic bone in moving back. Be here and breathe. So yes, this is a hamstring stretch, a calf stretch, but we're also really focusing on finding that length through the torso, through the abdomen. When you have had your fill, when you feel you've had enough, press into the feet to inhale and lift yourself up, coming back. Beautiful job. Okay, while we have the chair today, nice blessing that is the chair, why don't we take standing poses on the chair? So move your chair over to the right side of your mat. Now, depending on the height of your chair that you've chosen, this may or may not work. So if it doesn't work, you'll do it freestanding. But if it does, we're going to take warrior two to the right. So we're sitting on the chair. You might need to pad up with the blanket as I did. You want your thigh, your right buttock to rest on the chair. Right? So if this doesn't feel so good for you, do it freestanding. If you'd like to try it this way, take this option. The back leg is straight. Couple of breaths here, gazing over the right fingertips. You shall eat. And then when you're satisfied, when you're done, come on out and take the other side. Moving the chair over. Left thigh, left buttock to the chair. And extend the arms. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Feel that your hands have something imaginary, like a giant physio ball or something that you're pressing down. So you engage through the lats, yeah. The sides here of the torso, outer edge of the shoulder blade. And then release. Take your chair back to the other side. Gonna go for side angle. So find your warrior two stance. And again, you can just also do this freestanding. And then we're going to take the right forearm to the right thigh, continue to extend through the crown of the head. The left hand can be on the left hip, or you can inhale and take the arm overhead. Few breaths here. The gaze can be forward or the gaze can be up toward the ceiling. When you've had enough, come on out. Change sides. Left thigh is resting. Left forearm to the left thigh. And then you can decide where you want your right hand, perhaps at the hip, perhaps coming overhead. Refine the pose. You can use that left forearm to press back a little and bring those left lower ribs forward. A little bit of a spin of the rib cage. And when you're ready, come on up. Take a moment to pause. Just find an easy mountain pose. Receiving the wisdom of these standing poses. Perhaps any sensation you feel through the body, especially through the legs. Any vibration through the body. And then we'll take a wide leg forward fold. You might put the chair or the block in front of you, or maybe your hands will come to the floor. I'll model this way for now. Taking the legs wide. You can go as wide as is comfortable for you. I'm modeling a slightly shorter stance today. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift up, squeeze those shoulder blades toward each other, elbows draw back, and exhale, fold forward through the hinge of the hips, and place the hands again to the chair, to a block, to the floor. The sitting bones are directly over the heels. Now, same as we did when the legs were close in the parallel stance, we'll find some hollowing through the abdomen by drawing the pubic bone back, or you might even just think of drawing the thighs back. Or you can think pubic bone back. And there's this place where it really starts to like suction a hollowing through the abdomen. See if you can contact that. When you're ready, inhale, lift, come back up. And heel toe or jump or step your feet toward each other. So now that third part, uverachta, you shall bless. Just taking a moment, and here we can take one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. You can leave the gaze soft, or you can even close the eyes. Receiving the resonance of the poses, receiving the blessing in that way. And then also offering gratitude in whatever way you want. Gratitude for being alive today. Gratitude for possessing a body which more or less works. Having the capacity to be a part of this wondrous existence we're all in. And then releasing hands, we'll come down to the floor. Bring your blanket with you, right? And let's take a fold horizontally. Same thing we always do. I'm just pointing it out. And place this on the floor. You may need more support than this. You'll figure out if you do. Can also keep the block handy, or sometimes it's nice to have washcloths or like hand towels on hand if you want to lift a knee or something like that. If you need support, you can put that there. Hands to the sides, palms facing down, just taking staff pose. Drawing the outer edges of the shoulders back, drawing the upper arm bones back. Squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. Lifting and lengthening the spine. And if you find you really catch this a lot in your hip flexors, that they feel hardened or tightening, can bend the knees even more, or just come in and out a few times, kind of shake it out. This is a tough pose, actually, for finding the position of the pelvis and really making that lift. Staff pose is kind of deceptive in that way. Doesn't look like much of a big deal, but it's kind of hard to find without grabbing through those hip flexors. And now we're going to work on a forward fold. If you like, you can just stay right here. And you can also, if you're not wanting to come into the forward fold, can take your hands to the top of the chair or the sides of the chair, press down, and lift the heart up. So we just work on engaging the core and finding lift. If you want to fold forward, inhale tall, and as you exhale, start to walk forward, lengthen through the spine. Can be a little or a lot. With each inhale, find some length. And with each exhale, coming forward. Investigating the forward fold. Ve'achalta, and you shall eat. Take part of the nourishment of this pose. And continue to eat, so to speak, checking your alignment points, breathing, being here and noticing sensation. Until you decide that you have reached Sova, satiation. And when you are full, come on out. Uverachta, and you shall bless. And we just take this moment of stillness, this pause. To say thank you, grateful for every shape, every movement in our practice. From here, take your hands to the back of your knee, right where your thigh meets your knee, and let your leg be very easy. This is the right side. As you draw in on the thigh and place the heel down, keeping your right hand under the thigh here. This is helping to make some space behind the kneecap. And of course, if this is too much flexion, you'll just take the foot forward for less, no problem. So be where you are with that. Then once you find this fold and you've kind of found some opening for the kneecap, you can pull the hand out and see if the sensation remains of feeling space. With both hands on the right shin, inhale, lift, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, turn to the right, taking a twist. So maybe you have your left elbow around the right knee. Maybe your left elbow is to outside the right knee. Decide what's the best for you as you partake in this twist. One other offering I might add is you can lean back a little, take your own right hand to the lower left side of your belly, and just draw your hand across to the left, kind of draw the flesh over so you can get a little more space for this twist. As you're ready, when you feel you've had enough, come back through center and take a counter twist, opening to the left. And then release back to center. Same thing on the left. So we're going to take the left hand behind the left knee, bring some space, give some space for it as we draw the left heel in wherever you want to place the heel. Keep that hand there for a moment so you can feel this space that's created behind the left knee. And then you can pull it out. With your hands to the left shin, lift up tall, inhaling. And then exhale, we'll move to the left. Find the positioning for your right arm. And work your way into the twist. And again, you can lean back a little bit, take your left hand to the lower right abdomen and draw the flesh across to the left, just sort of giving yourself a cue for this twisting. And then come back in. And Visavata, when you've had enough, come back through center. Open out to the right, opening the twist. Come back to center. If the chair is still here on your mat, just move it a little bit forward for the moment. I'm going to take a couple more things before we take a little rest. So, taking your left fist, making a fist with your left hand, and then placing it on the lower right side of the abdomen. This is the ascending colon. We want to get this space first. Pressing, it's below where your ribs are, yeah? And then we're going to fold over that fist. So there's like a slight discomfort, right? But this is for, there's not a lot of space in the abdomen. And what we want to do is bring some pressure to the ascending colon and then just fold over. Observe how that feels. When you are ready, come on up. And if you're having digestive issues or if you're having constipation particularly, right, we can stimulate some movement in this way. So first the right side and now the left side, taking the right fist into the lower left side, hits the descending colon now, and then lift yourself up and over that fist and fold. When you're ready, come on up. So once we have eaten of our practice and been satiated from our practice, part of the blessing, giving the blessing, is taking that final bit of stillness, in Sanskrit, Shavasana. And we'll take the lower legs to the chair. So if you want to blanket up the chair like I've done, you can, or you can place the blanket under your head. The lower legs all the way up to the knee are on the chair. The thighs are at an angle, and then I just lay down the torso. The arms can be wherever you like. Palms facing up at the sides, about 8-10 inches away from your body. It's kind of nice for placing the shoulder blades right onto the back and widening the collarbones. Or you can bend the elbows, place the hands on the belly, on the low ribs. You can even extend your arms overhead if you want to get lots of length through the torso, or take them out into a T. You get what I'm saying. Anywhere you like for the hands. And this bit of quiet time is just saying thank you. If you have time to stay here longer, please feel free to turn off the video and continue You're resting as long as you need before you go back into your day. If you're going to be returning to your day, beginning to wiggle fingers and toes and make your way up to a comfortable seat. V'achalta v'savata. And that, by the way, is the pause point of the phrase, the etnachta. Eat, be satisfied, comma, uverachta, and then bless. So we can think of our time on the mat in this way. Take nourishment, figure out when you feel satisfied, pause, give blessing, receive blessing. And we can take this little phrase with us for the week off the mat into our experience. Whether it's eating or otherwise, be nourished. Stay mindful, stay attentive, realize when you're full, when you've had enough, and then bless the experience. As we move to close our practice, we send healing blessing out to anyone in your life and beyond, in your life personally, your communities, out into the world where anyone needs refuah, needs healing. So much healing necessary. And as we've been doing every Monday, we join together in the liturgy that comes in the morning on Mondays and Thursdays with the Torah service, Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael. Our awareness that we still have hostages in Gaza, we are thinking of them, we are sending our energies, our prayers, and our hopes for their safe return. So feel free to follow the words and join together with me. Harry will put them on the screen, or just to listen as the words wash over you. Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, achioteinu kol Beit Yisrael, hanetunim betzara, betzara uvashivya, haomdim ben bayam, ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם עליהם, ויוציאם לצרה, לרווחה, ומאפל לאורה, משיבוד לגאולה, השתה בגלה, ובזמן קריב. We send our prayers to the hostages, to their families. We also send our prayers to the people of Gaza who are suffering, who are hungry. And anywhere else in the world that you want to send out your blessing, please continue to do so. May there be healing for all and an end of suffering to all. Thank you all for practicing today. If today's practice or any of our offerings from IJS have been important to you, please consider making a donation in any amount to IJS. Harry will share with us that link. You're always invited to do so so that we can continue to offer these free resources to you. And the number of resources are growing, so please check out that page on the website with our free resources and upcoming classes. Again, remember, there's the Shofar Project. Please sign up for that if you're interested. The study and practice group for young adults with the Shofar Project for 20s and 30s, fire and flow, creativity and mindfulness, text study coming up this year. And as well, please consider joining me at Rapallu December 4 to 7. It would be so wonderful to practice in person with you. It's our third year offering this annually, myself and Rabbi Claudia Kremen and Rabbi Cantor Daniel Ben Simchon. Really promises to be wonderful. So thanks for staying. Sorry to add a couple minutes there. And I'm happy to have some time for Q&A for any questions you have on our practice.